In this video, you'll explore Napoleon's lasting impact on history and how his actions changed the course of Europe and beyond. Napoleon's rise to power was nothing short of meteoric, and his subsequent fall from grace presented a unique set of challenges for European nations and the world at large. Europe was thrown into chaos as Napoleon's armies marched across the continent, leaving a trail of destruction and instability in their wake. The European powers that had once been so confident in their ability to contain Napoleon's ambitions were left reeling, struggling to come to terms with the sheer scale of his conquests. As the dust began to settle, it became clear that Napoleon's impact would be felt for generations to come. His military campaigns had redrawn the map of Europe, creating new borders and alliances that would shape international relations for centuries. But Napoleon's legacy extended far beyond the battlefield, and it's here that we find the true extent of his enduring influence. One of the key challenges posed by Napoleon's rise and fall was the need for European powers to redefine their relationships with one another. The old alliances and agreements that had once held sway were no longer fit for purpose, and a new era of diplomacy and statecraft was born. As European nations began to rebuild and recover, they were forced to confront the reality of Napoleon's enduring influence and to find new ways of working together to prevent such a catastrophe from happening again. This led to a period of intense diplomatic activity as European powers sought to establish a new balance of power and to create a more stable and secure continent. The Congress of Vienna, held in the aftermath of Napoleon's defeat, was a key moment in this process, as European leaders came together to redraw the map of Europe and to establish a new order. But Napoleon's impact went far beyond the world of high politics and diplomacy. His military reforms, for example, revolutionized the way armies fought and were organized, and his introduction of the Napoleonic Code brought a level of consistency and fairness to the law that had previously been lacking. As his armies marched across Europe, they brought with them new ideas and new ways of doing things, and it was these that ultimately changed the face of Europe forever. Napoleon's emphasis on meritocracy, for example, helped to break down the old aristocratic systems that had once held sway and paved the way for a more egalitarian society. Despite his many achievements, however, Napoleon's legacy is also marked by controversy and debate. His military campaigns, for example, were often brutal and destructive, leaving behind a trail of devastation and loss. And his later years, marked by increasing paranoia and megalomania, saw him become increasingly isolated and detached from reality. As we explore Napoleon's lasting impact on history, it's essential that we acknowledge both the positives and the negatives, and that we seek to understand the complexities and nuances of his legacy. The Napoleonic Code, for example, is often cited as one of Napoleon's most enduring achievements, and it's easy to see why. This comprehensive system of laws, which was introduced across much of Europe, brought a level of consistency and fairness to the legal system that had previously been lacking. It emphasized the principles of equality before the law and helped to establish a more meritocratic society. But the Napoleonic Code was also deeply flawed, and its introduction was often accompanied by violence and repression. As we examine Napoleon's influence, it's essential that we acknowledge both the strengths and weaknesses of his reforms. One pivotal moment that encapsulates Napoleon's enduring influence on history is the Battle of Waterloo. This decisive battle, fought in 1815, marked the final defeat of Napoleon's armies and the end of his reign of power. But it also had far-reaching consequences for Europe and the world beyond. The defeat at Waterloo led to Napoleon's exile and the restoration of the Bourbon monarchy in France. But it also marked a turning point in European history as the powers that had once been so dominant began to decline and new powers began to rise. The Battle of Waterloo was a moment of great drama and significance, and it's one that continues to shape our understanding of Napoleon's legacy today. The Congress of Vienna, held in the aftermath of Napoleon's defeat, was another pivotal moment in European history. This gathering of European leaders marked a turning point in the development of international relations, as the powers that had once been so dominant began to forge new alliances and agreements. The Congress of Vienna was a moment of great significance, and it's one that continues to shape our understanding of Napoleon's legacy today. It marked a new era of cooperation and diplomacy as European nations came together to establish a more stable and secure continent. As we reflect on Napoleon's lasting impact on history, it's clear that his influence extends far beyond the battlefield. His military reforms, for example, helped to shape the modern army, while his introduction of the Napoleonic Code brought a level of consistency and fairness to the law. But it's also important to acknowledge the controversies and debates that surround his legacy, and to seek to understand the complexities and nuances of his impact. Napoleon's legacy shapes contemporary society, politics, and military thought in profound ways. His emphasis on meritocracy, for example, helped to establish a more egalitarian society, while his military reforms continue to influence the way armies are organized and fight today. As we look to the future, it's essential that we continue to engage with Napoleon's legacy, and that we seek to understand the many ways in which he shaped the world we live in today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to share your thoughts on Napoleon's impact in the comments below.